I'm about to talk about the Kanye West Charlemagne interview, and I'm not gonna play any of it really. I'm just gonna give some of my thoughts. And right now, I'm only a couple minutes in. I forgot. I'll look at the time slot next time, see what time it is in the video, so I can say what part I'm talking about if anybody wants to go back and look at it. But right now, I'm only a couple minutes in, and I'm just thinking about where he's talking about how the robbery came out of nowhere, how the fashion community put him in his place. That's how it felt to him, and I can understand. Like, I don't see any reason why he would make anything like that up. I believe it did happen. So all those things back to back, he's wondering, like, is it a setup that I end up in a hospital? I think on a deeper level, which he may not be saying aloud, because at the end of the day, we are so far away from spirituality that people think it's weird when you talk about it. So many people don't believe it's true or whatever, but I guess that's another thing that I'm not going to care anymore, what anybody thinks. Because what I put out there is you have the right to believe or think whatever you want to believe. You don't have to believe in God. You don't have to believe in spiritual experiences. You don't have to believe in Christianity. I don't care. That's what I believe in. People can do whatever they want. I have friends that are Muslim. Talk to people like it. Anybody, Hindus, Buddhists, atheists. I talk to all kind of people. I don't care. So I'm going to stand strong. I'm not going to be afraid to talk about my spirituality because, I don't discriminate against anybody else. So I believe on a deeper level that Kanye is talking about the devil coming at him. However you want to look at it, negative energy. Where is this coming from? Where is this? I guess some people might even be like, is it karma? If that's how they look at it. Like, what did I do? Like, how's this coming out of nowhere? Because I'm a Christian, I believe it's the devil. Things coming at you to try to tear you down. The devil comes to steal, kill, and destroy. So he was coming at him strong now. And Kanye has a message, so there are going to be things that try to hinder that message. I mean, and even if you want to just look at it as good people versus evil people, I mean, not everybody in the world is a good person. That's just the reality of things. Not everybody in the world wants to be a good person, Some people know full well, like they really fully know what they're doing, and they choose to still do it anyway. So you got those type of people out there. So you wondering, are these people trying to stop this message I'm talking about bringing humanity up, moving into the future? Because we still living in the past. I don't know why folks holding on so much to past things. Like, let's become better, let's evolve. I even talk about, even one of my sayings, what I say to myself is, even the founding fathers, they knew that if they didn't think, because I believe it was divinely inspired, that whole Constitution, when they went in there, they set it up, they deliberated and came up with the Constitution. I believe that was divinely inspired, and in it is written for things to change and things to be amended. So because with time, people change. They knew that. They knew that. People change. The world changes. So I don't know why people want to hold on to the past so bad. Especially when you think about what existed. Jeez, people. But anyways, I mean, I want to tie it back in so nobody really gets off subject. I mean, I said all that to talk about how those negative energies were just coming at Kanye all at one time. And he felt overwhelmed, pressured, probably beat down. And that's how he ended up in the hospital. Okay, this is about 9 minutes in, and they're talking about basically racism. And Kanye says, yeah, it still happens. He says it happens. There are reminders of it, but I don't remember verbatim what he just said, and I'm not about to go back. But he said it doesn't affect him anymore. And I've already watched this interview, to be honest with you, more than once now. It really speaks to me, and honestly, it encourages me to share things that I want to express. But anyways, Kanye he acknowledged that racism still exists. So for all you people that are upset, thinking that he's ignoring that or wants to put all the blame on black people or something, I'm not sure what you're thinking. He acknowledged about 9 minutes in that it does still exist. He gets reminders of racism, but he has risen above it. You don't have to have money to rise above it. It's a mentality. It's a spirit. It's a self-confidence. It's a feeling of not caring anymore. Of course, and because I know problems and issues within the black community, which some overlap into other communities as well. But I'm speaking specifically to black people because I'm black. So as far as rising above it and just being yourself, I'm not saying be rude and nasty to people. I mean, you also need to do things in love. If you do it in love, then there's nothing to worry about. Like, just stay true to yourself. But if you're nasty, that's a different story. Nobody's going to tolerate that. So Kanye, to be on that level of rising above racism, knowing it's there, but not letting it get to you and just going hard. We have to be strong. Yeah, we are a strong people. Mentally and physically have overcome so much. This is just the life that we were given. And maybe it's because we're meant to do great things. Maybe it's because we're meant to do extraordinary things. Create a shift in this earth. And we're not the only ones. There's millions of people suffering around the world. But maybe we have a platform here in America. We have a platform here in America that maybe we can signal. And I want to speak truth to power. We will signal a shift in this world. Bring in the future. I don't know how it's going to happen. I don't know specific and details. So that's why I'm just saying bring in the future. So what Kanye is saying is rise above the racism. Let's do what we got to do to take our rightful place and positions in this world. The more of us that come up, the more we can help each other and better our communities. And who knows what'll happen. But that is essentially what he is trying to convey to people. And I hope this was easy to follow, with everything I just said. All right, this is about, I want to say what I am actually talking about happened about 10 minutes and maybe 15 seconds. I mean, 10:15, damn it. Around 10:15. Right before he started talking about the publication and stuff. When he said it was something about the breakthrough that was fire. That passion from struggling. The passion, strength, and soul, and sometimes mindset you get if you want to overcome your struggles. And, you know, sometimes you get revelations during those times and you see something, like things become clear. Or even just the struggle itself can be a driving force, if you share that with people, or if you use that as motivation. But motivation to elevate through love. I want to make sure I'm emphasizing that, because I'm not talking about no motivation to stay like doing the wrong thing or doing things that, you know, isn't to the betterment of yourself, your family, your life, and this world in general. All right, this is about 11 minutes and 11:30 in. And I don't know, for some reason I'm not remembering how I'm supposed to say 11 minutes and 34 seconds in. I mean, somebody let me know in the comments if you please will let me know in the comments exactly how I'm supposed to be saying that. So it's at 11:34, and he's talking about changing the stigma on crazy. And one thing, I mean, I don't know what all he could be feeling in his heart when he says that, but I know one thing that I'm getting from it is, even because of when I think about it myself, when in reference to myself, more of like being able to be yourself without people calling you weird or saying, oh, she's crazy. No, I'm just being myself. I'm just being who I am. That's not crazy. So I think that's at least a portion of what he is talking about when he's referencing changing the stigma on what's crazy or out there. People being able to express themselves, being able to express your feelings, what you're feeling in your heart. Sometimes you can't even express it in words. It just comes out in action. You just want to hug somebody. You just want to hug somebody. Does that make me crazy? Does that make me crazy for feeling like that? That's what he's saying. That's what he's talking about. At one degree, I believe that it could mean even more than just that. But I know that's one thing he's talking about. That's not crazy or weird. I also want to say, I went to a festival recently, and there was this guy, and I was like, yeah, he got balls. I bet you he's probably one of the coolest mofos up in here. He had on his hat, his contacts, black lipstick, this fur jacket, skinny leather pants, like, and he was turned up. And you know, somebody had the nerve to try to like mess with him. He didn't see the person. We was actually standing behind him, and we seen somebody trying to act like they was gonna pull his coat or something, just being whack, hating on the man because you ain't got the balls to wear something like that. But that's also what he's saying. Express yourself, be yourself. That's not crazy. That man is being himself. What he had on is not crazy. If you want to wear pink, green with some leather pants, do you? That's not crazy. We not some damn robots up in here. At least I'm not. I'm not a robot. And for damn sure, not anymore. Even if I was one before, like, even if I acted on these societal structures and stipulations that we want to put on other people, I used to act on that stuff. Not anymore. But in my mind, I knew I wasn't no damn robot. But now I'm finna start acting on my thoughts about not being a robot. Yeah, and I'm not crazy. And I'm coming back. Yeah, it's not too far after. It's about 12:29 when Charlemagne just got finished giving his Rafiki spiel and saying that Rafiki had a hit symbol on the head, like, yo, you don't even remember who you are. Then he gonna tell Kanye, yeah, Kanye, it's almost like you don't remember who you are, that you're Kanye West. So after I've gone back and watched, I watched the Breakfast Club interview in 2013. Then I watched some documentary a YouTuber made. I'm new to this, and I would link that doc. Maybe I'll add it to the description later once I figure out all that stuff. But I watched that documentary, and Kanye ain't changed. Kanye has evolved. Kanye ain't forgot who Kanye is. From what I've gathered, he still got the same message. It's just evolved. And if you don't understand what I'm saying about evolved, maybe try to look at it this way. He knows he needs to try to achieve his goal through some different angles. Maybe he need to come at this from a different angle, a different way. I think that's what he's thinking. That's what I'm thinking. And that's what I even think about some of my own goals. Even, just to give you a quick reference of the love thing. I don't care what nobody think. I reach out. I talk to conservatives because I've been wanting, for one, I want to see the full picture. I'm not a fool for either one of the parties. I'm not into that type of mindset. So that was one of the things that was a main driving force for me to try to see the whole big picture. And you do got to know how to talk to people. And you do need to come from a good place. Especially if you want to live your life in an honest way. If you want to be honest about what you're feeling on the inside. You just try to come from a good place. And I wish I can break that down even further, but that's all I got right now. Okay, this is about 13:45 in, and he's talking about how he just wants to express himself. Things might not always come off the right way. He may not always express it in the right. I literally just said that. Things may not come off the right way, and he's not media trained and blah, blah, blah. I feel the same way. As you can see now, this isn't scripted or anything. Like, sometimes I'm stuttering, sometimes I'm slurring my words, or maybe even doing a run-on sentence. Who knows? I just want to express myself, and just to throw this back into people to anyone who may not have got this, that's what Kanye is talking about in reference to Donald Trump. I mean, I know I'm going to use it as an excuse. Our president, Oh, y'all saying y'all don't want people to talk politically correct, talk perfect all the time. Let me tell anybody who's listening one thing right now, especially from my personal experience. I'm not speaking for all black people. I'm speaking about in my personal life, the black people I've been around, grew up around my whole life. Everybody been tired of people talking like that. Maybe not the older generation, but younger people, yeah, I know I felt that way personally too. Like, I want to see more people who are like me. So that's not no new thing. I mean, there are millions of people who were not trapped in this whole mindset about party system. So anybody, like some people who are voted for Trump and think they're like, they're woke now, or they revealed something. Like, there's people that been wanting this. I mean, yeah, didn't know to be Donald Trump, but not saying I wanted somebody like Donald Trump, but I did want somebody anti-establishment. And I know I'm going to use, and maybe Trump is meant to do something, because I know I'm going to use Trump as an excuse to why you should not be judging me. You should not be judging the way when I'm just trying to express myself. And keep that in mind, especially when we're going forward into this new future of being free-spirited, being our true selves. Nobody, like I said, as long as you're doing things in love, stop being so judgmental of people. Stop critiquing the littlest things, especially when you understand where the person is trying to come from. And Kanye pretty much made a disclaimer right here around 13:45, talking about how he just wants to express himself. Yeah, things aren't always going to be perfect. And that's pretty much what happened with the whole slavery was a choice comments too. I think things didn't come out correctly. And plus, so many people seen the clipped versions of it and not the whole 30-minute version interview. So yeah. Okay. Oh. Okay. I'm not sure why this thing turned red, but hopefully it's not messing up. I paused for a sec, but 15:07, and he's talking about information. He's about to go into that whole little spiel about having information. I just want to relate that back to some of the things I've said previously about how I personally am, and my channel, my page also says this, that I am anti absolutism. I don't believe any one person can ever know everything, not even the half of it. Honestly, I believe even as information wise, we have to work together to get a collective of information and wisdom and a better outlook on things. Not one person can know everything. So what he's about to talk about is how you start seeing, and he's seeing that on the level in which he is. You can also see it on just a normal everyday person, like probably me and you that are listening to this, where people, maybe they got an outfit or some shoes and you think they're cute, but they act like they don't want to tell you where they got it from. That's what he's talking about. That simply, now you can apply that to a lot of different things. Jobs, grocery store, maybe food. You can apply that in a lot of different arenas. But that's exactly simplified what he's saying. You ask a person where they got their outfit done or who their hairstylist is, and or where they got those tools, and they don't want to tell you. Or even they started a business, but they don't want to tell you, like, oh, the advertising that they got for the low. You know, maybe that's something about competition. Maybe that's something that won't change in humanity. I don't know. But I guess once you recognize that a person is like that, then yeah, you got to move around a little bit. Yeah, I guess you got to go even harder. But that's what he's talking about. He's about to get into about what he needs is information. I feel the same way. That's what I need. And in order to get better information, you're going to need a multitude of people, because one person can't be. I mean, hell, how many books would I have to read? I still, in my whole life, I will never. It's kind of like Orochimaru. My Naruto friends, seeking, trying to learn every jutsu. It was never enough, and he still never learned everything. It never was the best. So no one person can know everything. We need each other. Okay, this is about 1750 in, and real quickly, what I just want to touch on is how Charlemagne said that they both acted, basically, in short, childish, and maybe just it was a bunch of emotions involved with him and Jay's situation. And specifically, what I wanted to touch on was when Kanye says that Jay all he did was release a bar. You know, he could have pulled my family records or I could only imagine the things he could have done. So, to that point, getting mad over things that are not that serious. Somebody talked about you. Somebody was just honest with you in a nice way, kind of like how I'm talking right now, and they just telling you their feelings and you don't like it, so you want to fight them or you want to cuss them out or you want to hold a grudge against them for years. It's not that serious. It's not worth it. You know, let people be honest with you and you be honest with other people. And I want that for my own life too. That's why I try to be conscious about, you know, how I'm saying things. And sometimes it do take me a while to think about what I want to say, because I want to make sure it's coming across in the right way and from a place of love. And at the same time, I want to be able to be honest and say my true feelings, because I'm tired of having my true feelings pent up inside of me. So if somebody were to come to me and, like, even if somebody stole $5 from me, or, you know, I even look to that point, like, yeah, they stole from me. Yeah, I'm going to be probably pissed about it. Am I going to go fight them? No. Or, like, shoot up their house or something? No. You know, I know sometimes it varies, like if somebody stole 200 or whatever. I'm not talking about stuff like that. You know, I can't really speak on things like that, but I'm talking about little things that's really not that serious to be getting mad over. Even, like, you know, he said Jay could have did a whole song. All he did was a verse. Like, it ain't nothing to be mad about, man. Jay just expressing how he felt. You know, it ain't that serious. Okay, real quick, 2129 in. I just wanted to, and this is maybe a little off topic, but I just wanted to kind of talk about how when Kanye just said that he was hurt, that, you know, they didn't come to the wedding. What it reminded me of and what I instantly thought about is that somebody probably laughed at that. And, like, you know, man, get over it. Like, bruh, come on, bruh. Get over it. He just being selfish. You know, Beyonce don't like him. Blah. I bet you some people thought that. Somebody listening to this may have thought that. You know, we're all humans. None of us are perfect. But what it reminded me of, and the reason why I paused to say this, is because we look at people sometimes, and even because of what we see in these day and age, we become numb. And we forget that, yeah, everybody has feelings. And even I just wanted to speak specifically about men. Because it's something I'm learning in my relationship, and I'm trying to be better about being aware of, is that, yeah, men have to be strong out here. They have to keep up a strong persona. But they have feelings too. They have feelings. Men have feelings too, and they may express it differently because of what they have to deal with in life, and a lot of times the roles they have to play. But we as women and other men need to remind ourselves sometimes. Remind ourselves that everybody has feelings. Men, other men have feelings too. And they do get hurt and they do feel sad. And they should be able to express that. Okay, this is about 25:12 in, and he just put emphasis on about following your gut feeling, and I've been contemplating and just being aware of about gut feelings and instincts for, like fully knowing that I need to listen to my gut, and fully being aware that yes, something actually does happen. I do get a feeling there. Wow, that's the feeling like of I'm supposed to follow. There's something happening in there. I've basically been aware of that for almost 10 years now. But only recently have I had the courage and the bravery to start actually listening to it and following myself. I used to get feelings like, maybe somebody can relate to this. That's why I wanted to share. I used to get a feeling in my stomach sometimes, like even when I'm nervous to say something, or when I think some type of confrontation's about to happen, or if I'm like, oh my goodness, I get this weird feeling. And now I realize, honestly, with the help of Kanye recently, I don't know why. Like, I've learned a lot from the church I attend. I've learned a lot from my mom. I've learned, but I don't know, something about everything that's happened with Kanye has given me like some newfound courage and bravery. Even I love Naruto, and Naruto is all about like being brave and having courage. So, and these latest events have just led me to fully embrace that. So that's why I wanted to talk about those gut feelings, because now I realize some of those, and I don't fully understand those feelings yet, but I'm thinking that was fear. That feeling I would get down there, that anxiety, or especially when somebody just disrespected me, or somebody caught themselves trying to intimidate me, or somebody just said something sideways and I really want to say my true feelings, but I'm holding back. Or even people just saying ignorant shit that don't make no sense. And you like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? But see there, that was me being rude. That's what I'm trying to stop. That's what I mean, like, remember, love, meekness, kindness, remember. But yeah, just saying, like, what you're saying doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. Now I realize that feeling I would get when those moments happen, that was fear. That was fear I was getting. And now, like, through me just expressing myself more, that fear is going away. Like, I'm hardly even feeling that anymore. So, like I said, I don't fully understand like gut instincts yet, or understand them deeper. If anybody got any thoughts about that, please elaborate. I'm very interested, because I think there is something else going on, because all your instincts can't be from fear. But I know when I would get choked up, I would feel something in my stomach. Can anybody relate to that? Like when you feel anxiety or pressured about something, or like a confrontation coming on, you felt like this weird feeling in your stomach. That's what I've noticed since I've started expressing myself more. That is not happening as much. So yeah. So there is this thing behind this gut instincts philosophy. And I do believe different areas and people talk about it. It's just like we have to actually start being more aware and applying this stuff, actively applying this stuff to our lives to the best of our abilities. Actively, like it's an active thing, every minute of the day, every second of the day, every hour of the day, just like trying to remember, meditating on these things. So this is about 2650 in when he starts talking about, like, first Charlemagne reiterates that sometimes words can't explain things. Some things have to be experienced. I just wanted to tie that back into what I was saying earlier, like to bring that back to mind. About sometimes it's not crazy. Like sometimes I just feel like I want to hug you after what just happened. I have no words, like a hug or a painting or a drawing. Like even there's different ways people might express themselves. So that's what I mean. Like some things, even in that sense, have to be experienced, and that's not crazy. And even the reference to karate, living from your gut, going with your heart. That's why I love anime. To be honest with you, I don't know if they apply that type of things to their lives as a whole over there. I mean, I'm actually going to I don't want to say what country, but I'm about to travel to Asia soon, a country in Asia, and I'm really looking forward to that. So I'll see how things are going over there. But anyways, yeah, about the following your gut. I mean, that's why I watch a lot of anime, because that's what they a lot of them come from that standpoint. So at about a little bit after what I just talked about, 2732, he starts talking about how if you're acting in love, the universe will assist you. Real quickly, I just want to say, yeah, you have to truly believe that. You have to truly believe that as long as I'm trying to come from a place in love, like things are going to go over fine. Like nothing bad is going to happen. And I'm not trying to say that in a way like a fairy tale way, like, but I'm just saying, just trust that when you're going to, at least in the aspect of being yourself. Okay, I wanted to make this distinction to try to help better break this down for maybe somebody who may not be understanding this, but at around 2753, when Charlemagne asked about, they had just got off the topic about fear and being brave and having courage. And then immediately after that, Charlemagne asked, well, okay, and maybe I need to, stop letting ego come, because maybe I've thought about these things longer than maybe somebody like Charlemagne has, or maybe even anybody listening. So it's not right for me to try to act like any superior or wiser than anybody else. Maybe I'm sure there's things he knows that I don't know, and there are things that people are listening right now know that I don't know. So I'm gonna try to let me scale that back a little bit. But yeah, he immediately asked Kanye right after that. So when you were doing those rants about Jay-Z and Beyonce, that was coming from a place of fear. And I guess in a little way, just the tone and how Charlemagne's coming off, like kind of in my opinion, kind of like he feel like he has this advantage or something, and maybe that's where it was triggering me. But anyways, about that rant being based in fear, I feel like he's not hearing what Kanye is saying, because Kanye wants to be himself and be more honest about, he just want to be more honest and be himself and say what he's feeling and thinking and wants to do. So when he did those rants, or even me talking now, it wasn't out of fear. It was me expressing how I felt about something I was going through. It's something I had feelings about. Yeah, I maybe felt some type of way, and I got them off my chest. I didn't want to hold that in. So that was an act of courage. That wasn't fear. Maybe fear is what led it to build up so much, because he wasn't able to express himself in previous instances before it escalated to the level that it did. So maybe that was fear that caused it to escalate, but he took a stand then and had bravery and courage to try to rectify the situation by getting his feelings off his chest the best way he could, and trying not to come from like a nasty place, trying not to be nasty about it, just wanting the truth to set you free from the anger or the suspicion or whatever was built, that anxiety that was coming from that situation. And it took bravery to get that off your chest. Okay, just to speak quickly on when he was talking about even if people want to kill you, they're not your enemies. I even let it go on a little bit to see if he further explained that. I don't know if this is what I get. This is what I think about when I hear that. Because, again, I'm spiritual. I'm thinking that he is trying to come from a spirit. He also even mentioned that, our language hasn't caught up to things that we're feeling. I agree with that in a sense too. And even in a futuristic sense about what we can create. So, but anyways, even if people want to kill you, they're not your enemies. When I hear that, I think about, because what's driving that person, and I don't know if I'm right. I'm honestly just like, at this point, hell, let me know what you think if you hear that. Because honestly, I don't have any well thought out. I've never thought about that before. That's even something I haven't got to the point of accepting or embracing. So when it was something that is a kind of a big thing to say. So that's why I wanted to touch on it a little bit and just say, this is just what I thought. I don't know if this is right, but it's the first thing I'm thinking about. All I can think about is, because the spiritual standpoint of, what could be spiritually driving that person. They could have had a series of events that just went wrong, and now it's led them to want a certain goal, and maybe they're willing to do things that not everybody would do. They're willing, basically, in short, to get their hands dirty to reach this goal for whatever reason that they have. It also puts me in the mind of when Naruto could empathize with. That's one thing I just loved about the show, because he empathized and seemed like most of the villains had a background. They had basically been through some type of rough life, or somebody did something to them or screwed them over, and now they're just trying to correct or rectify their life. And even though the way they were going about doing it was harming other people, and maybe they just needed to change their outlook, which Naruto gave him that act right. Naruto gave him that whoop pow pow, and they got that act right. And they realized that they needed to go about things in a different way. So I don't know. That's just just some of my thoughts when I hear that type of concept about, even if people want to kill you, they're not your enemies. That, like I said, that's also a new one for me. So definitely share any thoughts that somebody have. And I know, obviously, I don't want to hear stuff. Well, I mean, I don't really care what people can say what they want to say. But I'm not really going to pay attention to the stuff that's just like, oh, well, if somebody try to kill me, that I'm not finna let nobody kill me, because I don't think he means that in that way. I'm not think he's trying to tell people to be martyrs if somebody's out to kill you. So let's just put that out there. We all know that. We're on a different plane now. So let's speak from this different plane and not the natural one. All right, about 3207 and when he's saying I retired Kanye, I think that he's speaking in a sense of whatever y'all think Kanye is, or whatever y'all want Kanye to be, that is what's getting retired. Just like, even if I think about myself, these standards that people have, like, yes, I do have my standards. I mean, I want to lead a happy life spiritually and physically. I do want to have money in the bank and not have to worry about where my next check is coming from. So yeah, I have those standards. But as far as doing things how you want me to do it, or how you think I should do it, I'm gonna do it how I want to do it, as long as I'm doing it out of love. And yes, so I'm retiring what your expectation of me is, and I'm just gonna live my truth. I think that's what he meant by I'm retiring Kanye, but I don't think Charlemagne understood that. And like I said, I'm not in Kanye's head, so I don't know everything he could have meant by that. But I think things that I'm saying, or even in this aspect, just that I believe that was a portion of it. I'm retiring your expectations of me. And I encourage everybody to do the same. Yeah, let's all start being ourselves. Okay, this is not exactly where it was, but it may have started around 333, 334, and when they started talking about, Kanye was elaborating on how his confidence was taken. And he even said, even though he won fashion awards, he felt like it was like, oh, here you go, boy, we gave you something. And he said that, it sounded like, to me, he had conformed, like I was just talking about, and we were just talking about, with living up to other people's expectations, whether it be in your family, whether it be in the workplace. I'm not saying not do your job, and I'm not saying not follow the rules, not follow the laws, but you can be unique and do it while being you. You know what I mean? And if you can't do it in that space, that's why we have to shift, so we can start creating more spaces where you can. We have to shift our collective consciousness. But anyways, I think he was trying to say that trying to live up to this fashion industry's expectations, even how Charlemagne put it earlier, being somewhere where you're tolerated as opposed to celebrated. He was bringing down his light, dimming his light, in order to try to fit in with them. And it was basically driving him crazy. Just like me making this YouTube, me declaring honestly to my family that I was going to start being myself more, doing it from a place of love. I welcome anybody to be honest about what they're feeling about me or anything like that, because I want to be the best person I can be so I can do God's will. So that's what I said. And it drives you crazy when you're trying to not say things, hold things back, live in this like a damn robot again. I'm trying to keep it simple so things don't get too long, because I can elaborate on this. Hopefully I'm getting the point across in the words that I'm using, because I'm trying to keep it simple and still hope that it can come across as something deeper. Living up to these people expectations. I believe that's what he's saying made him lose his confidence, made him lose his authenticity, his uniqueness, and it was driving him crazy. Just like living like that is driving me crazy and was driving me crazy, and that's why I'm trying to make a change, do something about it. And just to reference Charlemagne, how he said, okay, so what made you lose your self-confidence? You know, that lets me know that, again, Charlemagne doesn't really get it either. Like I said in the back with the old interview from 2013, when you have we all don't have like the same vision. Some people's visions are smaller than others. And there's nothing wrong with that. Everybody got their own role to play. But I guess what aggravates me about Charlemagne is that he kind of comes off as this place of superiority or knowing what he's talking about, when in reality, you need to humble yourself a little bit, because I don't think you know everything you think you know, or understand people as well as you think you may understand people. Okay, and real quick about the humility part, when he goes into learning the balance, everything one thing, that's what I learned in church, about always having balance, never too hot, never too cold. Kanye had confidence before, but you know, maybe it was a little harsh, which you would come off harsh when you really didn't intend to. You just want to express yourself. You don't want to be nasty about it, but you just want to get your feelings off your chest. And you can do that and be confident enough to do that while still being humble. I can repeat, you can have confidence and be humble at the same time and still express yourself. Just remember to check while you're expressing yourself in confidence. Just remember to check yourself and remind yourself to make sure, okay, I'm going to say what I got to say, but I'm going to make sure I do it from a place of love, because this is just honestly how I'm feeling. Okay, I can't believe this thing is turning out to be longer than I thought it would be. But I mean, give me a break. Like, cut me some slack. This interview is almost 2 hours long. But I might split this video in half again, because it just doesn't look as appealing to people out in YouTube world for a video to be 2 hours long. Even an hour long. Lord have mercy. But anyways, what I wanted to touch on, this is about 3728 in, and he was just talking about, you know, not focusing on race as much, being future based, like basically what I was saying before about yeah, we know it's there, but we ignoring that and the people that's still perpetrating it. We about to get it, okay? Get it. We finna turn up on them. So anyways, what I also wanted to talk about in relationship to race, because the reality is that that's still a big conversation and something that we still got to work on a little bit. There's a lot of bases that we need to get that we need to cover and the topic of race. And just to put it out there, I have seen that, you know, advisors of Trump, and including Kanye, are supposed to be trying to set up some race relations conference just to get on the political scope. And as far as race in reference to this, I just want to say that how this is, I think, future thinking as far as race. When I think about the way I can try to empathize and understand where Kanye is coming from, I do feel a sense of a brother, like brotherhood with camaraderie with him, and brotherhood too. And I think just to try to keep this short and sweet, and this is not no sweeping generalization, but the way I can put effort in trying to understand where Kanye is coming from, and how I would want somebody to try to understand where I'm coming from if I'm just trying to be honest. I want them to consider that I don't know everything. I want them to consider that, yeah, I'm human. So yeah, things may not come out right all the time, and yeah, I might get excited sometimes, but I'm trying to be better and work on that. This is going to be a tough pill to swallow for some people, both ways. The way I'm being so careful with this Kanye and listening to him, maybe I need to give Donald Trump the same consideration. I'm not saying I have to like everything he does. I'm not saying I even have to like a little bit of what he does, but in relationship to getting things accomplished and moving forward, I need to maybe cut him some slack, depending on specifically what the area concerns, and maybe think about his ignorance. How the reality is, there's a lot of things white people just don't realize or understand. And I know this from firsthand experience, which I'm not going to elaborate on this video. But I know that, like, white people are, and I'm sorry if a white person is listening to this and I know everybody's not ignorant, and I'm not finna sit around here and focus on exceptions. I'm talking about there is a big chunk who just do not realize what's going on outside of their world in relationship to race. Because I can look at people in my own family and they don't realize what's going on outside of their world. But I'm talking about in specifically race. White people have a hard time relating to the struggles of minorities, especially African Americans, because you gotta be in somebody's shoes to fully understand something. Just like there's things about white people I'll never fully understand because I'm not white, but I can try to empathize with them, just like I'm trying to empathize and understand where Kanye is coming from. I can try my best to know that Donald Trump has been shielded to minorities. He doesn't know. He don't know. Maybe he is trying to really help us if we give him a chance. I mean, it has been a year, so I'm not saying that he hasn't done anything, but I will say I'm gonna see what's going on with this conference. Like, I never had the door closed on a man. I always was the type of person that just was like, yeah, I was pissed off when he got elected, but I was just like, okay, we'll see what happens. Because at the end of the day, I knew that something, even aside from me not liking him in general, I seen a door open. As far as, the anti-establishment door, I saw that door open. And I saw the door open of me being able to be more of myself. Because, I'm not even finna get into all that. It's going to an hour about, this standard people have had to live up to based off European ideologies. And that's just real. Can't nobody deny that, because they are the ones who founded America, and everything we've been to, we had to live up to these standards they created. So, and we always knew that they weren't living up to the standards. I mean, nobody's perfect. So now that we have Donald Trump, he's like a beacon of, yeah, I'm about to do what I want to do. I'm about to be myself. And that don't just apply to black people. That can apply to anybody. Us normal, everyday, average Joe Blows. All of us. All of us. But, anyways, all I'm saying